What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon. You guys, it is very possible that we've found our low already. Now, there's really two possibilities that I see at hand here. Either we have found our low, or we're really, really close to it. The low that I would expect if we haven't found our low yet, which was yesterday at $399, $399.5. If it wasn't yesterday's low, I would expect that we come just below this green line here, potentially to around that 370 to 380 range. There's a few things that line up with that. If we take this low here to this high, the low to high of the consolidation range, getting the extensions, we tipped the 1414. The 1618 is actually at the top of this range here, 381. We could wick a little bit below it, go to 380, 378, 375. The reason why I say 378 is because if we take this low here to this high, the low that essentially sent us up, this was the lower low back here of this consolidation range, but I'm taking the low to high here because that was the low of this move, if that makes sense. Where this was the low of the consolidation, this was the low of the start to the upside. The 886 is down here at 378. So that's also in that range, and right below that green line, if we look and see the relationship that we had with BCH and this green line in the last kind of major phase of consolidation we found a very significant low here, and every time after that we went below this green line, it happened to just be like the perfect areas to buy, right? All except for this low here. Every other low that came in below that green line, like this would have been a good area to buy if you were playing the trading game, right? Everything else, though, all the great areas to buy, the best areas to buy, were below the screen line. So we're very near that now. Could we go, and as the days go on, the screen line will increase. Could we go a little bit below it to that 380 to 370 area, specifically near that 380 area? I think it is possible. But then also building a case for the idea that we could have found our low already. Again, we do have this 1414 area. Come on now. Right there, we literally tipped it, right? We do have this 786 area, and after reacting with the 618 like this, in this manner, finding support on the 786 is a very likely thing to do. Even the 886, right? 786 to 886, somewhere in this range, which we've already fulfilled at this point. We just don't have follow through to the upside to determine if this is a low yet. If we take this line, we go back to where the low was here. We follow this white line all the way back. You can see we found resistance in this area, resistance there, a little bit of support right there, support in this area. A little bit of resistance there on this like head and shoulders pattern, whatever, and then support in this area as well. This is actually, I'm on the Kraken chart, but if this was on Coinbase, that would be where that giant gap was. So right at the top of this gap that formed on Coinbase. That's the case for potentially already having the low. A counter to that idea is, again, all these lows being below the green line, with the exception of this one. And then also, if we see the low of this consolidation range here that sent us up to the 700s, we had a very, very big wick and a big candle at that to mark the actual low of this consolidation phase. While that is a big wick in respects to this candle, the wick itself of this candle engulfs this whole activity, like the last 3 days. So something that big, right? That was the low of this consolidation phase. We go back to the low of this consolidation phase. It's a very similar looking candle. If we go back to the low that sent us up on our first pump after moving sideways for like a year and a half, that was this one. It's a very similar looking candle as well. So, it looks like these candles, but a much smaller version of it. We kind of even had a similar candle here the day before. So who knows? Today, you guys, we could see a pretty big dump to 370, 380, maybe lower. It is possible, but I would expect that these lows hold. So I would think we get a higher low than this, nonetheless. But something right below that green line wouldn't be crazy at all. And also all the probabilities and ideas that I'm throwing at for the price to go down here, it's also equally possible, I would say, that we've already found our low. There's plenty of things that suggest that we've hit the mark. We don't need to go lower, but time will tell. Time will be the arbiter of truth, so to speak. Looking at the RSI, we've also found support directly in this area the last time that we were here. We did go a little bit lower there, a little bit above there, a little bit lower, It's an area somewhat around here that we have found support a few times, if not a little bit lower. So Not really given much other than just it is possible we could have found our low already, and also the RSI is in a place of weakness, so that does give also equal opportunities to move to the downside. Looking at the 4-hour RSI, it's also pretty damn weak, if I must say. It looks like you're rejecting the 40. This does imply that you could go lower. Who knows, man? Maybe you do go a little bit lower, close below this on a 4-hour basis, get some bullish divergence formed where you get a lower low here with a higher low in your RSI, and then you start to move up, but time will tell. I just keep saying the same things over and over again, so I'm probably going to end it there. If you guys like the video, hit that like button. Again, we tipped this 1414, but the 1618 is all the way down there at 380, so we really could. If I had to bet money, if I had to give it like statistical probabilities based on my own opinions, I'd say it's like a 50% chance that we've already found our low, 50% chance we go lower. Would I be comfortable buying here? Absolutely, I would. This would be a keen area to buy, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but a keen area to buy. Nothing wrong with saving up a little bit to buy down there, but don't be upset if it doesn't go down there and then it pulls some kind of move like this, and then inevitably goes down there. Who knows how it happens? But if you're looking to buy BCH, there's no reason to be greedy and try to buy down here. This is a very fair price to buy. With that being said, if I was a betting man, and I am, I would bet money that we do go below the screen line one time at least. Maybe for a couple days, maybe for a day, maybe for an hour, a moment. But I would expect prices go below that green line, and then we found our low. And then just because we found our low doesn't mean we do this. It just means we consolidate. We work our way up, we do our thing, and then inevitably we'll break to the skies. But yeah, that's that. I don't know. Nothing wrong with buying at these areas. I would buy at these areas personally if I was interested in buying more BCH, but it is my biggest bag. I was planning on buying some down here, but I actually transferred my funds from BCH to XCN and Blue Zell. Not all my funds, just the funds I was looking to buy. BCH is my biggest bag, and instead of adding more to my biggest bag, I added more to my smaller bags, if that makes sense. That's what I was trying to say. BCH is still by far my biggest bag, you guys. And I was planning on buying down here. I had buy orders set for the past couple weeks, but I actually ended up buying some XCN today, and I've got some buy orders set for Blue Zell now. Just because, after this video here, man, top crypto comparisons, Blue Zell seems a little bit more interesting to me. Not more interesting than BCH, just more interesting than it had before. It's definitely more interesting on like an overall price growth potential, in my opinion, but XCN also has it with that potential price growth. So I threw some extra cash there, but I feel like I'm explaining things that probably nobody cares about anyways. Just informing everybody that I know I've been talking about buying in this area for a while, and I would buy here if I was interested in buying BCH. And it's not that I'm not interested. I have enough of it. I would rather diversify and spread out. That's just to mitigate risk and mitigate potentials for growth. Anyways, I bet we go lower. And we're very near our low, guys. It could come any day now, if not sometime next week, but I would think over the next few days it's very, very possible to see prices around or below 380, but around there. Yeah, so that's it. Special shout out to the Bitcoin Cash podcast. I was on their show the other day, 3 days ago, episode 115. That's me, man. I feel like I can't get away from the number 5 in my life. I got 115 there. My dad's number is 11 and my number is 5. That's kind of funny. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to leave, feel free to do that. And yeah, special shout out to the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Go watch this episode if you haven't already. I got a little sidetracked there at the end, but yeah, it's a pretty fun episode, pretty awesome and interesting stuff that we talk about. I do some technical analysis in like the first hour and a half, and then we BS and we talk about some things that matter in the crypto space and with Bitcoin Cash also later in the show. So I think it's worth watching. I watched a good bit of it just to rewatch and see if I made an ass out of myself, and I think I did all right. I think I did an all right job of making an ass out of myself. No, they good guys, Jeremy and Jet. I love you guys. You guys, thank you for having me on. Before I get all lovey-dovey and keep on strolling on this conversation, I'm going to end it there. So take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye. See you next time.